How to make an easy bee and honey farm in Minecraft. These are resources you will need for this farm. So anyways, let's get into it. Alright, so the first step is obviously to find yourself somewhere to build a farm. And once you find yourself an area to build it in, you want to place yourself out 5 building blocks onto the ground in a row like this. And then we're going to place yourself 5 empty beehives on top of these blocks. Also to mention, we're going to have to bring bees later, so if you have beehives with bees in them or bees nests with bees in them, simply keep them in your inventory and wait with placing them until the end. But anyways, let's continue. So anyways, once you've done this, you'll need to place yourself 4 blocks going to the left of what we built so far, going upwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you will have to connect up these 2 pillars with each other, pretty much like this. Then head right in front of what we built so far. And then while looking at these blocks we placed on top right here, look at them while standing next to the beehives, and then place yourself a dispenser while looking at this block. And if you now break the beehive, what you should have is a little hole going out from the dispenser, pretty much looking into the beehive. So anyways, then place yourself more dispensers facing downwards, pretty much like this. Alright, so once you place those dispensers, what you will have to do now is expand the wall we have on the side right here by 2 more blocks going forward. And then you will also of course have to build a roof above it, so pretty much 2 blocks going out from this top line of blocks. Then once you've done that, you will now need to place yourself any kind of flower inside this room, and make sure these are 1 block tall flowers. So anyways, once you have done this, what you will have to do now is cover in the front right here with glass or any kind of block to make sure the bees we're going to have inside this room does not escape. And then once you've done this, you also need to add a door to this side, so you can either have the door on the left side or on the right side. So I simply just place a door right here, and I like to have 2 doors just to make sure I can open one, head into the room, and then before opening this room in case the bees try to escape, you can obviously have this door closed for security reasons, and then simply open this and go in. Same way when you're exiting, open this, close quickly, make sure no bees are in the room with you, then do the same with the other door. But anyways, now that you have placed the door into the room, you really just have 3 more steps. One of them is building the collecting system, one of them is building the redstone system that's actually going to harvest the beehives, and then finally is obviously getting yourself 2 bees inside this room. So anyways, let's start with the collecting system. So to build a collecting system, you're going to have to head in front of the middle glass block right here, then break yourself 3 blocks going downwards, then head into here and break yourself 2 blocks going forward. And now what should happen is that if you break this block, you should end up inside the room where we have the flowers. So anyways, then just head back down under here, and what you will have to do now is dig yourself 4 more blocks to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I would also recommend to do is dig this 1 block forward, just to have a little bit extra space, or 1 block backwards I guess. So we should end up under the glass, and then you will have to break yourself 1 block down in each of these corners, and then place a redstone torch under there. Then place yourself a solid block on top of those redstone torches. What should happen now is that if you place yourself a powered rail on top of this block, it should be lit on, pretty much like this. Then do the same on the other side. Then you can place 1 more block going out from those blocks with 2 more power rails if you want to, or you can use normal rails. So anyways, what you will have to do now is place yourself a chest right here. You can also place yourself a double chest if you want to, and then you need to run yourself some hoppers going into the chest. So pretty much 1 hopper going into the chest and 2 hoppers going into the hopper. Then do the same from the other side, so 2 more hoppers over here, and then simply place yourself 5 normal railings on top of all of these hoppers. Then you will have to place yourself a minecart with a hopper on top of one of these corners, and once you've done that, the minecart should go back and forth, pretty much like this. So what you can do now is exit this room, and from the top right here you should be able to enter this chest or access this chest, which is pretty much how you're going to be able to pick up all the honey you're going to get from this farm. Anyways, now that you build a collecting system, what we need to do now is head to the back of the farm to build ourselves the redstone system. So anyways, to build a collecting system, what you have to do is just head to the back of this farm, and then you will have to place yourself a solid block behind each of the dispensers and behind each of the beehives, and make sure these are full blocks, so not transparent blocks like for example glass or slabs. So anyways, once you've done this, go 1 block down from the blocks we just placed, 1 block out, then place yourself a block right here, then simply do the same on all the other blocks, then expand this 1 more outwards, and then place yourself a redstone comparator going out from the blocks we have right here. So pretty much out from the blocks that, well, are behind the beehives or bees nests. Then you will have to place yourself redstone dust in front of each of these comparators, and then pretty much going in front of the redstone dust, you will have to place yourself another row of blocks with then more redstone dust on top of it. And now we have 2 options. So what you can do now is either place yourself 5 glass or pretty much 1 glass on top of each of these redstone dust, or you can use slabs. That is fully up to you. And then you will have to place another row of solid blocks right here, so pretty much right above where you have the comparators, and then simply place more redstone dust on top of these blocks, and of course more redstone dust on top of this final row of blocks right here. And if I break this just so you can see, these are dispensers, these are beehives, you should have something that looks like this. So alright guys, now the farm is almost fully done, and all we need to do now is get ourselves some bees inside this room. Now I'm gonna mention a couple things here, and that is that the beehives can only hold 3 bees each, and that means that since we have 5 beehives inside this farm, I would recommend you you have up to 15 bees, as having 15 bees will obviously make the farm faster, which obviously means 3 bees per beehive, which is the max amount. However, you can obviously just have 1 bee if you want to, but bear in mind that the farm will be a bit slower then. Now, getting 15 bees inside this farm sounds like a really annoying step, but do not worry, because all you need to do is just bring 2 bees inside of her and then you can breed them up. So let's say I have a bee right here that's floating around. What you can do is either grab it by a lead and then simply run into the room and hope that it goes in, but that can be a bit difficult. Actually, maybe, yeah, a bit difficult. So what I would recommend you do is just grab a flower, as the bees will be attracted to the flowers. So yeah, then just lure the bee in, for example, using a flower. Luring it in can be a bit difficult sometimes, you might have to break some blocks. Let's make this a bit easier on ourselves. There we go. Close the door, untouch the lead, get out of here, then find yourself another bee, for example. Boom, let's say I found this one. Then we can lure it in using another flower again. Open the door, make sure the other one does not escape. Boom, that one is in now. And yeah, then we can just breed up the bees. So we can breed up these ones. Now we should have 3 bees, and then we just need to breed them up until you have your desired amount of bees. Alright guys, I've just bred up the bees a bunch of times, and what do we have now is 15 bees. So as you can see, the bees are collecting up the pollen from the flowers, and after they fill themselves up with pollen, they will then select a beehive to fly into. However, before that happens, we still have one more step that I forgot to mention earlier, and that is that we will obviously need to head on top of here, break out these blocks, and then fill in these dispensers with something that's then gonna, well, obviously take out the honey. So when it comes to a farm like this, you can choose to get 2 different things. One is honeycomb and one is honey bottles. If you want honeycomb, what you have to do is fill up these dispensers with shares, or if you want honey bottles, you will simply have to fill up these with empty glass bottles. Or you can of course do both. And then I'm simply going to fill up some of these dispensers with, for example, some shares. Let's say I want mostly honeycomb, I'm going to fill up 3 of them with, for example, shares. And then I'm simply just going to fill up the rest with glass bottles, or the last 2. Pretty much like this. And then I can of course replace these blocks, and yeah, all we need to do now is just wait a little bit and we will start getting honey inside this chest. So yeah, let's just wait for that to happen, and yeah.
A few moments later.
Alright, so I've just stood here and waited a bit. 1 day cycle has gone through and the bees have started filling up their hives. These redstone comparators have been turned on, which means that the farm has started working, and as we can see, we have already started getting some honeycomb. So yeah, as you can see, the farm works, and that is pretty much it. So anyways guys, that is it for this one. If you have any questions about how this works or anything like that, feel free to leave them down below and I'll try to answer as quickly as possible. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.